Arun Ram, resident editor of the Times of India. Mr. Ram, this case has gone through many twists and turns. Now, Perarivalan has been released. What happens to the others now?
See, the Madras High Court has clearly said that it doesn't have a scope. I mean, it won't be able to deal with it. Now, they'll have to go to the Supreme Court. So you have to remember that in Perarivalan's case, the Supreme Court has invoked Article 142, which gives it special powers, sweeping powers, to give any sort of judgment, to provide complete justice. So that's the idea, the premise of Article 142. And it also is pertinent to note that 142 never sets a precedent. So Nalini, Ravichandran, or any of the others, Murugan, Sharpan, Perarivalan, others cannot claim precedents citing the Supreme Court's order releasing Perarivalan, because 142 is not a precedence. So now what happens is the Supreme Court, they can go to Supreme Court. Of course, the court has to deal with it, so we can't comment on it. But of course, there is a probability of them being heard and being given, not all of them, but we have to realize that each person, each convict has a different, it will be dealt with as a different case. Because in Perarivalan's case, the Supreme Court considered his conduct within the prison and how he had done several degrees. And he has been an obedient person. He shows all signs of having become a new person. So these were considered. So in Nalini's case, or Ravichandran's case, or each one's case, Murugan's case, they'll be dealt with separately. It cannot be a batch of petitions. And so the probability of them getting freedom will be different. We'll have to wait and see the arguments and the merits of the case.
Mr. Ram, also, there has been politics over it. The cabinet, the Council of Ministers gave its nod, and yet the governor sat on it. That particular move has come in for a lot of criticism, isn't it? The governor sitting on the issue and not acting on it, and then forwarding the plea to the president.
True. In fact, the Perarivalan got his freedom, got released because of judicial dealing, because of constitutional dealing, I would say, not judicial dealing. Because the governor was sitting on it, and so there was lack of clarity. The governor then forwarded to the president. President was sitting on it. So the court, be clear, court did not say Perarivalan is innocent. Perarivalan is not an innocent. Perarivalan has been found to be guilty of being a party to the assassination of the Prime Minister of India. So he has been released using 142 as a special power. Supreme Court released him because justice was getting unduly delayed. So the politics behind this, it has been, the Tamil sub-nationalism has been at play for so many years, ever since the Rajiv Gandhi assassination, with almost every party competing with each other to take credit and take up for the convicts. So Perarivalan's case has become a huge human interest story for the media and for all political parties to kind of wage a battle for justice. But we have to realize the justice doesn't mean that he was innocent. So DMK has claimed credit, AIADMK has claimed credit. If you look at it, the AIADMK government had passed a resolution based on which is what the final logical conclusion has happened. The DMK cannot stake a claim. But then if you look at it, Perarivalan, soon after his release, the next day he did a pilgrimage of sorts, a political pilgrimage, visiting, starting from Stalin, EPS, OPS, every politician. So that shows the kind of support he said had. And he was giving, it was a Thanksgiving of sorts for Perarivalan. That shows the involvement of politicians, how big a political issue, especially Perarivalan's case, has become. But when it comes to Nalini or Murugan or the others, Ravichandran, I don't think there is such a support.
Also, one final question to you, Mr. Ram. Where is Nalini and where is Ravichandran? How many years have they spent in jail?
Oh, they're as much as Perarivalan, 32 years, I think. So they were arrested soon after the assassination, and so they've been in jail. On and off, they have come out on parole. Especially Nalini was given parole and leave to attend her daughter's wedding, to take care of her granddaughter. Several times she had come out. In fact, a couple of months ago, she had applied for leave and she withdrew the petition, probably thinking that a better judgment would come after Perurivalan. So there have been, Nalini had gone out a few times, but most of the others have remained in jail. Peculiar situation for some of the others. There are also a couple of Sri Lankan nationals. So what if they come out and they're not Indian citizens and Sri Lanka is not going to take them back? So they're going to be in a no man's land. So that raises another legal question on what could happen even if they get released. But their release is going to happen or not, I think we'll have to wait and see.